Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Austrian Legacy Cup. It's semifinals day, and my name is Daniel, and I'm joined today, of course, with the In Response crew, Philipp Klein and Peter Plank. Good evening, everybody. How is it going?
Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
So, as we said, we have the semifinals today, and this means we have our four semifinalists, which are Manuel Danninger, Jonas Bauernfeind, Andreas Schaubmayer, and Mario Hinterberger battling it out. We will cover all the matches from both semifinals, and we will start with Manuel Danninger against Andreas Schaubmayer as a first semifinal. Peter or Philip, out of you, why don't you explain to our viewers a little bit of the of the Austrian Legacy Cup? We have a tournament plan.
I love you too, Daniel.
Huh?
Yeah, we've got a tournament. We've got a tournament plan. We've battled it out in 4 groups with 4 players each in a double round robin. And so the first 2 of each group advance into the elimination rounds, into the quarterfinals, basically. And there we had Christoph Igelsberg versus Mario Hinterberger, where Mario Hinterberger advanced and plays today in the semifinals versus Jonas Bauernfeind. And then we had Manuel Hogaak versus Jonas, where Jonas advanced. And then Manuel Danninger versus Michael Höller, where Manuel advanced with his Hogaak deck. And then Andreas Schaubmayer in a very, very nice match. And basically, how do you call it? You have a very nice phrase for this kind of win, Peter.
It were basically
a reverse sweep or something
is
like
what
that.
they meant.
Okay, yeah.
Reverse sweep. Yeah.
I always get confused with these. And where Andreas won in a wonderful match and advanced into the semifinals. And today we are playing these out. So what's happening today is that 2 finalists will emerge, and the losers from the semifinals will play next time on stream in a small final, also in best of 5 for the 3rd place.
Yeah, basically we have now 2 best of 5s for today, 2 best of 5s in 2 weeks. It's on the 12th of February where we have the finals and the small finals happening. And yeah, basically we have now is the first match Rack Delver against Hogaak, and the second match of the day is Devon, Texas versus Rack Delver. So yeah, what are your thoughts about the various matchups for the day? Maybe we'll start off with the first one of the day, Hogaak versus Rack Delver.
Yeah, we discussed it a little bit, I think, the last time. And from my perspective, the Hogaak deck should be a little bit favored. I think traditionally Hogaak is a little bit ahead against Delver. But of course, as Delver is the best deck of the format, pretty safe to say at least, I don't think that we can clearly define Hogaak as the being the complete favorite here. So if Delver has its Delver draws, it's possible that Delver will also, of course, win. In my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I think that Rack Delver is one of the few decks that can have a win before sideboarding against basically Hogaak, because with the ability of a Force of Negation to stop a Faithless Looting even from going into the graveyard, or basically bolting a creature of your own to remove some bridges, or just have a Delver draw and fly over it. with that, I think we will have a 1-1 before sideboarding, or the possibility of happening is more likely against like something like Def and Texas, which was the matchup, last week.
Yep.
So I think it will be a close match, but small edges definitely to Chant Hogaak here.
Agreed.
I'm a little bit different. I think Hogaak is very much favored. Even with a good draw, Manuel will lead 2-0 in the pre-sideboarded matches, and it will be a clean 3-1 in my opinion.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough. I think we
So-
can check the games out and to see which of us will be right on the predictions. I think as we can start over to the matches and tell the players they can start.
Oh yeah, I'm already on my way. So
Awesome.
Yes. So Philip is just telling the players that we are now able to start. Our players rolled out who will go first in this game, because now after groups we have no decider between who will go first in his matches. In the quarterfinals, we had given an advantage to the player who finished first in groups, but this is now over, and we see here the dice rolling, and basically let's see what's happening.
And again, for all matches, and of course also not the semifinals to be accepted, we have the Cardboard Live extension, so that you can have a look at our deck lists, and just click on the left or right side of your screen, and then you can see the Chant Hogaak list, for example, from Manuel, or in this case, Rakdelver list from Andreas.
Yeah, and something that you may have noticed if you have watched the stream in the basically latter week, or since we started with Webcam Magic, we have now a new setup for today, so you can see us while we commentate, and you will have a bigger picture of the battlefields, because we had a nice tutoring session with Igelsberg, Christoph, who basically played in the quarterfinals of last week, and he made a tutoring session including OBS, made a 16 pages long PDF file to teach us how to set up the stream now, and he's in the chat.
So
he pats
great.
his shoulders, and it looks great.
So kudos to you, Christoph. Thank you very much. Stream update is always appreciated. And if you have another nice idea to upgrade our stream, always give it to us.
Basically use the features, slide in the DMs of our Twitter page, which is linked in the bottom, and tune in and say something in the chat. You are welcome. Here we have, unfortunately, no Days of Force of Will for the faithless looting on turn 1. No flip on the Delver, which seems like more or less like a loss now in this matchup.
It is certainly not the optimal start for Andreas, I mean, turn 1 Delver is of course the best thing in general, but if it doesn't flip, and the looting, which was able to put a bridge and Avengement into the graveyard for Manuel, is certainly something that you would have prevented or wanted.
Ooh, but the Wasteland now is really strong here.
Wasteland is key.
Yeah, without a Bloodcast in his grave.
I mean, turn 2
really
Hogaak
can
seems
go a
unlikely.
long way.
Turn 2 Hogaak seems unlikely now,
And the Delver will probably flip next turn, at least.
Yeah, it definitely should flip now next turn.
From the Ponder for sure.
4 cards in hand for Andreas.
Which means he must have mulligans down to 6, I think.
Cattle Therapy.
What do you name here?
Dreaded Arcanist.
Was named
I was right.
Ooh, that was strong. That was strong. Oh my god. But you have to name the Arcanist in this spot because if it sticks the next round, you will probably lose to it.
Yeah. Spell Pierce definitely not the greatest card here, I would say.
Yeah, given that Manuel already cast the looting and the therapy, spell Pierce is not at its best. He would have needed to be able to have it up in the last turn, probably.
Yeah, I think this turn I would have personally brainstormed for maybe another Delver to just fasten up the clock a little bit, or for a Force of Will or a Force of Negation or something like that.
Well, you can do
Because
that
you
already.
really wants to.
I mean, you can do
mitigate
that now. For example, you can cast your brainstorm
for
now.
sure, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to actually. I think you aren't allowed to let the Stitcher supplier resolve here.
I'm not sure. Does he have a daze or something in hand? No.
No.
He has showed us a daze. It was a brainstorm. Yeah.
He has Brainstorm, Spell Pierce, Bolt, and
That's it, I think.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
No, he must have drawn. No, it should be it. Something like that.
He drew the spell
But,
pierce.
Yeah, he drew the Spell Pierce. So yeah, a Lightning Bolt is the other card. Wait, I said Bolt already.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
So he was. He has 3 cards in hand. Yeah. Okay, and
Another
I
bridge.
completely disagree here. Double bridge now. And if there is another land and another 1-drop, it's
Double bridge is really hard here in this spot.
I mean, Manuel can sack the Stitcher supplier for the therapy, which grants him 2 tokens. And if he finds an Hogaak, he can already cast a Hogaak with the Stitcher supplier.
Another therapy.
okay. So we go into hide mode most likely.
Okay, no brainstorm before the fetch.
Yeah, because you want to hide the good cards on top of your library.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you could also spell piercing. That would also be just not really good.
I mean, you can spell pierce it, but doesn't change anything.
Maybe even bolting the Stitcher supplier here could be good in this spot.
No, I think that the bolt should go to the face. Am I right? You need the clock here, and
I'm not sure. Keeping the board clear versus Hogaak is pretty key.
Yeah.
And if he wants to flashback the therapy, he needs then to sack a token. It's kind of hard. Gotta admit.
Yeah, I mean, at least removing it negates the impact of a token. That's all right. And it seems like Danninger is missing 1-cost creatures here, which is a huge indication for Andy. But yeah, the clock isn't actually that fast. That's another problem here.
Also, I'm not sure if it's really interesting if bolting the own Delver is maybe the right call.
Is an option, yeah. I mean, you lose your clock completely in that case. So, but you remove the 2 bridges.
He didn't bolt it?
No. I think he put the bolt probably on top of his library.
Yeah, that's.
But probably the second one, but
Yeah, I think this is. I would have for sure used the bolt in some case because the most critical card here is a bolt for Manuel Danninger. Because the thing that Danninger wants to preserve his life total, and with that,
that's
grim.
So hard. That's so hard. But just exiling 2 bridges in response to the trigger by killing his own Delver, and leave Manuel with an empty board.
Yeah, it
Seems
depends
to
how
me
many.
like a really nice play if you have at least a preordain still in hand.
Yeah, it is interesting how many cards Manuel has in hand. If Manuel has 3 cards in hand, then I wouldn't do it. But if Manuel is down to 1 or something like that, I would go for it actually. Yeah. So we have here the Hoot Hoots, which
The
are
Hoot
great
Hoots.
now. Yeah, I mean, there is a
That
small
pooping
secret
mandrills.
running around that hooting mandrills works at Hooters. But I'm not sure about that one.
Not true. Not sure. Yeah.
It was perfect because every colleague of mine that went to America brought a Hooters calendar with him when he came back,
Okay.
and it was hung up in my basically working place.
I was just at Hooters 2 times in Prague when we went to Card Market Series for basically what's the European GP now for Legacy.
The only
and it's
event.
always great.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, here we have now the altar.
Ooh, and that hurts. That hurts really.
Because the altar makes basically every
Yeah.
every
creature-
creature a problem.
He draws now is basically a kill.
Yeah, he's a Hogaak away from winning.
Basically, yeah.
But that's why I probably said that's why I said bolting the Delver could be key here. Removing the 2 bridges takes away a lot of this angle from the mill plan.
Yeah, for sure. Might be the best play.
Yeah. But basically, if Andy has a bolt in hand and Manuel cannot win this game, cannot win this turn, he's basically dead too. So
I think he's now opting for do flashback the looting to find a Hogaak.
Yeah, could be a play here too.
You probably do this. It's certainly the right call. You don't need mana for him, and
yeah.
If you find a land and a bloodcast, it's also game.
Yeah, for sure.
Gets food.
Gets food.
Okay. Danninger has to answer the door because he should get pizza or something like that.
Ah, yeah.
Small foot break. Yeah, so we have time for us. So what are your plannings for today?
Watching the stream, of course.
Yeah, I think I will do that too. So yeah.
So Manuel is back here.
He played out the fetch land, which is unfortunately wrong, because you want to keep the fetch land in hand because you get another trigger.
Hard cast Force of Negation. That's so strong here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this seals the deal because he's on 5 life and dead. Unless he has Hogaak.
Oh, okay.
He has it anyway. Yeah, that's the win.
That's game. He just played the faithless looting to see if the coast is clear.
Yeah, very good actually. Very good.
Yeah, and with that he has 2 bridges, which nets him 2 token every time he does it. And he mills 7 cards. Or 8 cards. I'm not sure how big Hogaak actually is.
It's an 8/8.
It's an 8/8, yeah.
It's an 8/8. With that, he mills 8 cards. Each time he does it, he needs 5 cards from the graveyards to recast it. And with that, it's an infinite.
And a 3rd bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just so bad here. That's the thing. I don't think you can play Delver in this matchup as the beatdown. You aren't the beatdown. You have to be more controlling, and sometimes you have to sacrifice your own threat to win this. It seems counterintuitive, But getting the bridges removed is key. It's definitely key in this matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is the first game going to Manuel.
Yeah. And here was Andy on the play. Andy is now on the play too. But yeah, it will be kind of interesting because I think there is still game for Andy here. I mean, the draw from Danninger was pretty slow and wasn't that impressive, but Andy basically had no counter magic. I mean, the last force of negation, he let him extract the bolt from his hand with the Cabal therapy. And if he played that situation differently, there would have been maybe something if he bolted his Delver as Philip suggested, or he bolted I'm not sure how it is called, the one drop.
The Stitcher Supplier?
The Stitcher supply in response or something like that.
I think this
Maybe it could have looked different, but yeah.
I think the only thing that you would do with the bolt is either cast it to the face or kill your own Delver. I don't think that you would bolt the Stitcher Supply. It only negates a 2/2 zombie token in the end.
It's basically,
It is
maybe put it to the face, but yeah. I think letting it get ripped out of the hand is
not the best.
Not the best. I mean, maybe it's right, but I mean, it doesn't look that good or feel that good. But
the only thing, if Manuel leads on first turn Sigil Supplier, then I think it's always the right call to just force it.
Yeah.
If you have the force of will. Always when I played Hogaak and my opponent was experienced, they forced the Sigil Supplier, and it always went really hard. From then on.
It's basically like if you let the Snowco player let him resolve the Astrolab or the Carpet of Flaws or something like that.
You can say it's like the carpet, yeah.
Yeah, it's so much acceleration, and he has so many abilities now that he can pull the advantage even further. And with that, I think it's a must force or must stays. And let's see if we have the same thing here again. No, it's a Gravecrawler, and it resolves too.
That's a great start for Andreas here. The Gravecrawler is totally okay.
But another non-flip Delver here on turn 1. I mean, it's
true.
Isn't that bad actually, but maybe we can get here something like a Dreaded Arcanist rolling, which would be huge if we can, basically shoot down the board or put a few lightning bolts into the face or something like that. Or we have a Ponder for a daze and let the Delver flip next turn, which would be good too.
Or always have the force ready. Forcing a Hogaak in the right spot is also pretty crucial.
Yeah, for sure.
It can lead to an easy win.
Yeah, but we have the Dreaded Arcanist. Isn't Gravecrawler not allowed to block?
Yeah, that's definitely a wrong call here to not attack with the Delver.
Yeah.
You have to attack here. So yeah, basically Andy is missing out on 1 damage, which doesn't seem that big, but
it could be
big. You really, really, really want to get the amount of life total for Manuel to 0, and each damage matters. And this is the thing that you want to kill.
Oh, nice. That was application.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good here in this spot.
So it seems like,
and
no flip.
Still no flip. Oh, that hurts. Oh my god, that hurts. Hopefully he doesn't forget that this Delver can attack here.
Yeah, hopefully He does here the right play, which
What
would be
what would
cast a cantrip.
Yeah, a cantrip or a bolt to the face would also be good.
Chain
Yeah.
lightning. Okay. On the Gravecrawler.
I think he just has forgotten that Gravecrawler can't block.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. 16. Maybe cast another Arcanist or a Tarmogoyf or something like that. If he has a Tarmogoyf, I agree with getting rid of the Gravecrawler. I mean, no,
Not
I'm
really,
not necessarily agree.
No,
Because the Gravecrawler is now allowed to come back, which
And
is
it
a
acts
free
as a
1-drop to
cast.
cast.
yeah,
Yeah.
it takes the cast for Vengevine.
I mean, you have to
But
have
he
another
went
zombie
Tarmogoyf.
on the battlefield that you can actually cast the Gravecrawler from the graveyard.
Yeah, but the Gravecrawler now enables the other Gravecrawler or something like a Stitcher Supplier. There's a lot that can go wrong here.
Yeah.
But we have a 4/5 Tarmogoyf here.
Now
Let's
a Stitcher
see how this
Supplier
goes.
would probably
Mm-hmm.
seal the deal. What's this? It's a Sata
Sata
Wayfinder.
Wayfinder, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Stitcher Supplier. Hogaak Mill is
No hit. Oh, that's
it's Hogaak, Bridge, Stitcher Supplier, and Sata Wayfinder. But yeah, this seems way better now. And the flip.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Now we have Enchantment in the graveyard, so the Tarmogoyf is a 5/6 actually. Yeah. Yeah, that was the best defensive Gravecrawler of all. Yeah, it did something. It mitigated 1 damage.
Yeah, but it also took a chain lightning. You have to also take this into account.
Oh yeah, he's
for sure.
+1 on card advantage here.
I mean, I'm not necessarily agreeing with a Dreaded Arcanist in play, but yeah. So we have the ponder decision now from Andy, and put it on top. And let's see what he does here. He gets in for at least 4 damage, which should put Manuel now down to 12. And yeah, I would for sure cast the ponder here, because you are allowed to attack on the next turn and you want to build some forces for the next turn. Yeah.
True.
The card you really, really want here is 2 Force of Will, 2 blue cards, and the rest doesn't matter.
Or a Daze or something, or Force of Negation.
Yeah. You need to answer basically the altar here, because I think over the next 2 turns you will or should be able to win the game via the battle step, because yeah, he should be at least at 12 and you get in for a few damages in the next few turns with the Delver.
So what you're saying looks like Peter was right.
Yeah.
A solid 1/1.
Yeah, I think
true.
Andy has some game, because Ragdelver has a lot of interaction. He can basically mitigate some of the early pressure with a few Force of Wills, even though the matches aren't as I expected it, because I was expecting more Force of Will, really early threats from Andy, but it's basically Manuel bricking for a few turns. And with that, we have the fun police of the format. And yeah.
If you define Hogaak as playing against Hogaak as fun.
Yeah. You know what I mean.
I mean, for the Hogaak player, it's fun. I always love it to play this kind of deck.
Yeah, it
It's just
depends
so
on
strong.
your own
Oh my
deck.
God.
So
yeah, I think the matchup is
for sure.
definitely favored for Hogaak, But yeah, Rakdelver is just a really, really good deck, and with a lot of forces, it can do a lot of stuff right. And yeah, here the Wasteland puts a strain on the mana here of Manuel. And yeah, with only 2 or 3 mana available, only 1 card in hand on the other side doesn't look that great.
And now there's the Hogaak.
Hogaak gets cast, yeah.
There is no Vengeful in the graveyard, yeah.
And just 1
no.
card in hand.
No.
Or does the Hogaak get cast?
Why wouldn't you?
I mean, it isn't on the stack because of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. In response to the Gravecrawler, he's bolting the token. Yeah.
The token. That's
Yeah,
a good,
that's
play
a good
here.
play. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Does he has another? No, he has a Caval Therapy. But that's okay. He just has 1 bridge.
Ah.
Okay.
That's
a
nice.
good play. That's a good play.
He can. What can he do?
If he has another, I definitely look not all right. Does he have another land in hand?
That's what I. Yeah, he has one. So.
Yeah, he has another land.
Yeah, with
The
that he gets
Vengeful
to
comes
cast
back,
a
and then
Vengeful.
also the Hogaak can be cast. Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, if we have a German saying, it would be basically, if you say it in English 1-to-1, Philip cried it away. For our German listeners, Philip hat's verschrien, but yeah, the board presence of Danninger is now a little bit better than Andy's.
The life total of Manuel is it 12?
It's 12.
It's 12, yeah.
Okay.
And the life total of
It's 18.
should be. Is it 18? So
Yeah,
it's now
18.
14. Let's see. There is the Hogaak staying back. Are you dead on the backswing? Yeah, you are. So you should.
You aren't dead on the backswing, no. Why should you?
No, not Manuel, but Andy
okay.
here. So, yeah, you need a bolt or something like that here, because then you can bolt with the Dreadhorde. Yeah, but the question is, do you want to bolt and Hogaak here or something like that? But yeah, you have to.
What would really turn the tide would be an Oko to elk the Hogaak.
Oko elking Hogaak would be huge, yeah. Definitely agree here.
Yo, Chino, what up? Great to have you on.
Definitely. Yeah, Gino is one of our best mans of our community. He does the VODs on YouTube. All his.
So shout out to Chino. It's Funky Chino on Twitter. Follow him. He's a great guy. He tweets all city stuff.
And yeah, he basically tweets. Yeah, what does he tweet? Some random pictures of random Modo decks he's trying out currently. And yeah, definitely a nice guy here. We've worked together at a furniture company in summer. I mean, I was only there on Saturdays because I wasn't allowed to work more. I mean, I was allowed to work more, but then I wouldn't get paid what I would have get paid otherwise.
That's a problem, yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it was a nice summer. Felt like I was back in school, 13, 14, 15 years old, enjoying my time. But now I'm old, and yeah, every day is the same.
The second Delta here is really strong.
Yeah,
he has now a Leafland on board. Am I right?
Andreas?
If the Delver flips,
Yeah,
Andreas, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If the Delver
The
flips.
only thing that Manuel doesn't also mustn't draw here would be Altar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with an Altar is GG.
It's game over with an Altar, yeah.
In Hardcast Wenchwein. How does this change?
Probably nothing. He's on 12. He can block a Vengefine profitably.
Is Andreas on 12 life?
Andreas is on 12 life, yeah.
So in that case, Manuel needs to force Andreas to either block with the Delver or the Arcanist. In that case,
Yeah, I mean,
he wouldn't have lethal. On the next
He
turn.
can block with the Arcanist
Two token.
the token or the token. Then he takes...
but he still is dead then. He needs to...
Yeah, then blocks with the Goyf.
A Vengefine, but a one Hogaak and one Vengefine is 12 damage, so he needs to block a lot more. So he forces Andreas to give up his lethal attack next turn by attacking with everything.
No,
so
I think you block with the Dreaded Arcanist the Wenchwein and with the Tarmogoyf the Hogaak. So you take basically 3, 7, 9,
11
and you
with the
try
Grave
to
Crawler.
win.
But you don't have lethal on the next turn. That's the point.
Yeah, you have to hope to top deck a bolt. Either you jump block with the Delver.
So the Vengefine actually changed a lot for Manuel.
Yeah, completely.
Oh my
god. Yeah, he gets 2 tokens out of it. And yeah, that was completely the wrong play because there are now no outs for Andy. And
yeah, that's not true. He can top deck a bolt.
I completely forgot the Delver. Yeah.
He can top deck a bolt.
The bolts are still the out.
Yeah, it's the same.
Bolts or cantrips.
The Oko is not enough, no.
Oko is not enough, no.
No, it just needs another bolt, yeah. That's what it comes down to.
A cantrip or a bolt.
Well, the cantrip
because
needs also to find
an attack.
The cantrip also needs to find a bolt, so it's bolt or bust.
Yeah.
It doesn't find it.
It was bust.
Mm-hmm.
There were no ponders left. Yeah, in the graveyard. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered because you need double bolt.
You need bolt, and attack and get the Delver through.
Yeah, I mean the Delver would have went through, but yeah, unfortunately.
I'm not sure if could he have blocked otherwise.
No, he would have been at -1 life. Because you have to, because there were 2 Wenchweins. The word is so hard. Yeah, it's basically a best of 5. So with this game now, being over, the next game will be the first one with sideboarding, and with that's the advantage bar. Yeah, basically pulls a little bit ahead now, I would say, for Rakdelva. But as you saw, these 2 games were actually really, really close, and both games basically one turn away for Andy to winning the game.
Yeah, and now why don't we talk a little bit about the sideboarding options for our 2 contestants? So in Manuel Danninger sideboard, we've got 1 Surgical Extraction, 3 Thoughtseize, 2 Veil of Summer, 3 Abrupt Decay, 2 Assassin's Trophy, and 4 Leyline of the Void. It's an open decklist format, so Manuel knows what his opponent will probably bring in. So with this information, what do you think will Manuel board here?
I think
good
for me it would
question,
be boarding in the 3 Abrupt Decay, but doing literally nothing else. I think that the matchup is good enough, and you need some answers for basically permanent removal, but with looking at the sideboard of Andy, as Graveyard Interaction, he only has 2 Surgical Extraction and 2 Cloffice. Yeah, it doesn't look that great, actually.
I would also bring in the Submerge and the Brazen Borrower.
Yeah,
It can buy a turn.
yeah, for sure.
That can be enough. Submerge would have won the game in the last. Would have won the game in the last game.
Yeah.
Would have been a real game changer if he had this Submerge or the Brazen Borrower here.
Yeah, for sure.
Surgical is always a little bit. It's good, but it's not great. But you certainly have to board it in here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I think so too, actually. Yeah.
And I don't think you want the Thoughtseize from Hogaak.
No, for sure.
No,
not.
I don't think so. No.
They're only
you
there
want the
for
Cabal-
snow.
Yeah, you want to have the Cabal Therapies because, I mean, you have to snipe something like a Surgical, and it doesn't matter if you have the complete effect of the Thoughtseize because, and Cloffice isn't actually that big of a game changer. It's a 3-drop, and the more hard turns for Andy are always the first 2 turns, the first 3 turns. These are really, really critical. And after that, it all depends on how the graveyard of Manuel looks. If it isn't stacked, the game should look good for Andy. If it is stacked, good luck, Andy.
Oh yeah, a graveyard deck for this kind of tournament is certainly the right call. If we would have, if you have mapped your opponents out and what they could have probably played, it's easy to say that Hogaak or Dredge would have gone very far in this tournament.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
we see here
I mean,
from
Philip
Manuel.
and myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Philip and myself, we basically mapped our opponents a little bit and concluded that graveyard decks would be actually the best, but we both decided we want to have some fun. And we had fun.
we had fun, and neither of us advanced. So that's what you get if you don't play into the meta.
Yeah, but I think it was fine.
We see.
Do we see a daze here now?
Yeah, I think so. Some
I
kind
hope
of.
for a daze.
The Stitcher Supply on turn 1 is basically Black Lotus for the Chant Hogaak deck if it resolves. So you need to, daze it.
You need to daze it.
Yeah, and this is actually the first daze that was cast by Andy in this whole event. And
really?
No, not in this event, in this game or in this match.
Okay,
in this match.
Yeah, in this match.
Yeah, in this match for sure.
And here, do you agree with playing out the second fetch land and not the volcanic he already had in hand?
It depends on what he has in his hand. Typically, I don't think there is a. Yeah. I think it would just be the
basically
better.
Gives out
a free card, and you might want to use the fetch land if you have a brainstorm in hand to. If you have a brainstorm in hand, if Andreas has a brainstorm in hand, then for sure I wouldn't play the fetch land, to say at least.
And let's see if this will get forced, and it does not.
The second Stitcher Supplier is unfortunate here, but at least it doesn't hit anything.
Yeah, I mean, if it would have hit a Wenchman or something like that, it's basically
game over.
3-0 sweep.
Then it would be game over.
Yeah,
it's not a question.
And then we would have a. Daniel.
Yeah, I was thinking if the Gravecaller also resolves now, Manuel can have a Hogaak in hand and cast it also, which would represent turn 2 Hogaak. And for that reason, I think Andreas is thinking about whether or not to count that. Okay, but Manuel didn't have a Hogaak, yeah.
Yeah, but if it would have been a Hogaak, I would have praised for a daze or something like that, because it would have gotten rid of the whole graveyard
And countered. Wow, that
and
is
countered
strong,
it.
yeah.
Did Manuel play the Stitch Supplier before or after the land drop?
After the land drop.
Okay, yeah. Then Daze was an option.
And yeah, it's pretty hard here because the advantage bar is clearly on the side of Manuel.
Yeah. Because Andreas didn't have a
seem
turn
like-
1 Delver, he doesn't have an Arcanist on turn 2, and he's just, I think, sitting on a bunch of counter spells at this point. Potentially he has a Surgical in hand. And you're thinking if he
Another
If he
no
casts
hit
it?
on the
Yeah.
side of the Zeta Wayfinder, but another land in hand of Manuel, but
And
does the
probably
scene-
even a Hogaak in hand.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh yeah, and there it is. Never mind.
he has the Hogaak now, okay.
This should eat a Force of Will now.
It has
But-
to. It has to, or the game is basically over now.
It has to hit the Force of Will and then Surgical it. This is basically the play. If he does that, then I see something to win here. If it resolves, I'm curious what the thoughts were on keeping that hand of Andy. Because you can't keep a hand without the interaction. But yeah, here we have it. See the force. And let's hope for a surgical extraction. In response to the fetch, you have to surgically here. If you have it. So it seems like he does not.
I think he does actually. Because otherwise Manuel wouldn't have to wait here. So Andreas is thinking about surgical he's certainly representing it by his stopping the opponent with the fetch.
Yeah. Because you basically have to.
Yeah, you can still surgically in response to the next spell.
I mean, there are no Dryades in the deck of Danninger, so it was okay. But otherwise, you fetch here for a Dryad, and yeah, with that,
Then you
cast
just
the Hogaak.
cast the Hogaak, and then your window is over where you could surgical it.
Yeah, and here we have the Putrid.
And there's a surgical in hand. I haven't seen it, but I think it
Yeah.
has to be. It has to be. Or
For
else
sure,
it's
for sure.
just
Yeah, it's
over.
100%. It's surgical.
Maybe it's another days, but otherwise,
Nah.
yeah, it's the surgical.
No, it's a surgical, yeah.
And this play was only correct because, let's hope, or we just praise Andy here, because of the open decklist tournament. Andy knows that Manuel Danninger isn't playing any Dried Arbors, because otherwise the play would have been here, fetching for a Dried Arbor, and then exiling your whole graveyard and casting another Hogaak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, here we see the sideboarding. We have Abrupt Decays boarded in.
Yeah, that's
And
given.
Assassin's Trophy.
Trophy
yeah,
is boarded
that's-
in.
Snap includes, of course, for this matchup.
Assassin's Trophy too.
Yeah, of course, you need to
Sure.
you need to get rid of the threats from Andreas.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, DK doesn't hit the Hooting Mandrels, so
But Decay is fantastic in this matchup.
yeah,
DKs.
you want all DKs and all Assassin's Trophy. You want
Yeah.
all removed. You can get your hands on.
So you play basically remove control, and then
Yeah, because
yeah,
value-wise,
good
you
threats.
win over the opponent at some point with the Hogaak deck. Delver can never outgrind the Hogaak deck.
yeah. I mean, you can have an Oko, and Chant Hogaak
Sure.
draws only lands for 2 turns, and then it's basically game over.
Yeah, sure.
But
These
otherwise,
are all special
like, we-
cases. These are all special cases, of course. Yeah.
And yeah, this will be interesting now because there are the bridges in the graveyard, and what would have been huge here would have been a Dreaded Arcanist. Dreaded Arcanist now getting rid of the bridge would have been a really, really good sign for Manuel Danninger here.
The thing is, Manuel still has a bunch of creatures on the board, and they just represent 6 damage per turn.
A lot.
He isn't currently at threshold, so only only 5, but he should be at threshold at the next Faithless Looting. But I think this is a bridge from below in his hand, and no other cards, so he is actually missing
A land drop here.
a land drop here. And here we have the Hoot Hoots. And for High Star Lead, you can see the deck lists on the left, on the right side. We have the cardboard life extension, and there you see the exact deck lists.
Okay, it's basically there or there. It's not so easy.
Depending on which deck list you want to look at.
Yeah, basically,
It's on both sides. So.
if you use the PC, you should see it. I'm not sure. I don't think that it will work on mobile, unfortunately.
No.
But yeah, am I right with my conclusion that Andy only has 1 card left in hand?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not a good sign either.
Yeah.
And yeah, Manuel has 1 bridge from below in his hand and 1 unknown. And he discards the bridge from below with Putrident. I completely forgot about his ability. With that, he has threshold and hits for 6 now.
It looks definitely grim for Andreas here. It's 9-18. He swings for 4. That's very risky move.
Why?
I mean, you need a flying blocker or something like that.
The only thing, if you block a creature, you generate tokens for your opponent.
Yeah, he has tokens. Yeah, I'm sure.
So I don't think you want to
With
block.
that, he has 8 power on board.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes down to 1. I'm not sure if there's anything Andreas can rip in this spot.
No, in my opinion, not. So even that's the point. If Manuel and the Hogaak deck has already a bunch of creatures on the board, even if they're just 1/1s or 2/2s, they can just win the game.
Yeah, that's why I don't like Surgical in this matchup. It's just it doesn't do enough. You just die a little bit slower.
On its own, for sure, definitely not. You need a fast clock and some counter spells in order to make it impactful enough.
Okay, he bounces the creature
Yeah.
and goes down to 3 life. But I don't see him winning this because this was a fetch land here, and this should be game over.
This should be game. He can bring in the Brazen Borrower, block 2, and go down to
No, he
0.
can't block anything because the Putrid isn't in play.
Yeah,
and
he
he
bounced the
can't
Putrid
block
Imp, yeah.
non-flying creatures.
So bouncing Wraithroller would have been better.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
theoretically, yes. And showing the fetch land.
So a clean 3-0 for John Hogaak for Manuel Danninger here. Unfortunately, no one of us had the right call.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You
I mean, I
Philip
didn't
was a
give
little bit
any. No.
Yeah, Peter.
Yeah, he was more convinced than I
Yeah.
gave a little bit more of an advantage to Andy, but I wouldn't have said that Andy wins this matchup. I would have seen more a 3-1 or a 3-2 even.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I was definitely more in favor of 3-1. I could have also seen the 3-0, but I know about Andreas'
Yeah.
skill level, and I was fairly sure he could have ripped at least one game in his favor.
Here we have seen the sideboarding, which was 3 bolts basically, or 3 burn spells out one spell snare out, one spell pierce out, one force of negation out. I'm not sure how I agree with the bolts because you need the reach at least.
Oh yeah, you need the reach.
And I
Think so
would have
too,
agreed
actually.
with boarding out the Oko
Mm.
because the Oko is just too slow.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need something like a Delver Dreaded Arcanist Bolt Draw here
I
to
agree.
win
Yeah.
this game.
Yeah, definitely going down the 3 Okos for the 2 surgicals and 1 Clothis. The going down the spell snare for the second Clothis.
I mean, Clothis is basically the slot of Oko.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
both doesn't seem great, but I think Clothis does more. That's basically what I would say.
Yeah, it's too slow. I'm not even sure if I would include Clothis.
Yeah,
I gotta
it's
say.
basically really, really slow. But it does more than an Oko. And if you have to board something out, you can board in the Oko, the Clothis here. That
yeah.
would be my conclusion, something like that. Yeah, with that, we basically finished this game here.
It was extremely fast. I mean, it's now 21 p.m. So
Yeah. A clean 3-0.
yeah, hopefully we can start our next match soon. We will take a short break after this.
Yeah.
We will go about the match a little bit.
And I think we will have we should have an interview with Danninger now coming up. Hopefully he is ready in a few minutes.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
And then we will have our second match of the day, which is Rakdelva versus Death and Texas.
So we will be right back in a few minutes. Stay where you are.
And stay where you are.
Stay tuned.
Correct.
And we are back now with the interview from our finalist now, with Manuel Danninger on Chant Hogaak. A very great 3-0 sweep for you. It looks like you're taking the whole event by storm. What are your feelings now, Manuel? And um, did you expect such a nice semi-final win, actually?
Yeah, I guess the Rack-Delver matchup seems a good matchup, and I hope the finals would also be a Rack matchup. So I guess if Jonas wins, maybe it's another 3-0. But let's see.
Nice one, yeah.
That seems very how do you say this?
It would
Very
be
confident. Very confident of you.
Yeah. I mean, we discussed it a little bit before the game, and we all basically thought that you are ahead. Daniel and myself more of a slim margin to a medium margin. Philip put you far ahead of Rackdelva, and I think we've seen it perfectly this game, or these 3 games. Each game, one small turn where you had the advantage and were basically counterproof because there are no counters left on the side of Rackdelva, and you had immediately 12 power on board and just won the game.
Yeah, I guess it. I think it really depends on who is on the play and on the draw. So second game on the, I guess I was never on the play.
No, you were all 3 games on the draw.
Yeah.
Because
And
it looks a little bit more close than it actually was.
yeah, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess if we would have more daces in the first couple matches, it would be much harder.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the one misplay with the lightning bolt was really backbreaking for him, I guess.
Bolted his Delva.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are
You
very
should have
adaptable
definitely bolted
in
his
the
Delver.
grave.
Yeah, this would have decelerated your game 2 or game 1 even.
Yeah,
by
if
a lot.
he bolts his Delver, I got the empty board and nothing in grave, and I think I would just lose.
Yeah.
If he does the bolt, but yeah, that's magic, I guess.
Small
Even
decision.
just bolting your face would have been better than just letting the cable therapy resolve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
That's
but
true.
yeah, with this win, you're now in the finals, which is really great. So, congratulations to you.
thank you.
So, how do you feel about your next potential matchups? It's Rectal again from Jonas Bauernfeind, or Devin Texas from Mario Hinterberger. Both matchups can be quite hard, but for me, I think you're very much favored. How do you see this matchup?
Yeah, as I said before, it depends on who is on the play and on the draw. And the Def and Texas matchup would be much harder, I guess, after boarding. Because he got rest in pieces and all the hate cards. And Rakdelva only has the Glowfist and the Surgicals. What I think aren't so good against me. And after boarding, I guess I have the Abrupticase, what destroys always the Delver decks.
That's true.
So I hope I face against the Rack Delver player. But let's see the next match. Who is up? Yeah.
Yeah. It will be kind of interesting. I mean, it's basically either the rerun of the quarterfinals or the rerun of the semifinals now. But I think, if you are up against Rakdelva, he has at least the potential to win the match. If you are against, Devin Texas, you have to have, basically no good draw after sideboarding.
Yes, for
And
sure.
if you have a medium draw with maybe one or even two removal spells for his interaction pieces in Rest in Peace or Grafdigger's Cage, you should be really, really good to go.
The problem against Defend Texas is I don't play forces in the sideboard, so the matchup gets really hard after boarding. So let's see. Yeah,
it's basically a mull hard for the out on the side of Defend Texas, and you just see how it comes.
After
you win the first two games. I mean, you basically have to mold down to 4 or 3 that Defend Texas has a chance. And I don't think this is far-fetched.
Yeah, like we said before, did you actually map your opponents out for this specific tournament? Or how do you came to the conclusion that Hogaak or Graveyard deck would be a great call here?
Yeah, because I borrowed the deck from our local store. And first I want to play the Delver, but then our shop doesn't have all the cards, and then we look what deck I can play, and so Hogaak is pretty cheap because it plays a lot of commons.
Yeah.
So I choose Hogaak without forces because
because they are too expensive.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I got it.
so this is basically the budget choice of the tournament here.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But I think basically Graveyard decks are really, really good performing in our local meta because we have most of the time none of them. So we aren't with the sideboards really, really prepared for it because we want to prepare for more the fair matchups here. And basically with that, I think Graveyard decks are always really, really good.
Normally I am the only Graveyard deck player.
Yeah, I mean, when I started playing Manaless Dredge, I think another local player started with Manaless Dredge too. If you like 2 months later or something like that, and then there were a lot of guys running around with Lelion of the Void now in the sideboard, and this is the time I stopped playing Graveyard decks. And after that, I think 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, nobody played Leyland anymore because Graveyard decks are away.
Our local meta is just so volatile. As soon as there are more than 1 or 2 Graveyard decks, everyone runs Graveyard Hate, and it gets so annoying. But it's just so hard. You can spike 1 or 2 events, and then Graveyard decks become unplayable. That's basically it. And I'm the sole proprietor for the whole graveyard hate in our local meta. Everyone plays at least 4 pieces of Graveyard Hate just because of Dredge. Just because of me. Oh my god. I'm so sorry.
In this tournament, you now started with playing main deck Graveyard Hate with the ley lines, so
sometimes you get to switch sides, I think. The dark side has cookies, so
that was also pretty hard for me because I don't know the store meta exactly because I only play on Magic Online.
Yeah.
So first of all I want to choose a deck what's good on Magic Online, don't at the store. But I guess if you say the Graveyard decks are pretty good in the store meta, was a good choice.
Yeah.
Definitely.
For this tournament,
I think
for sure.
Philip and myself even gave we talked personally and not on a stream or something like that. I think we both agreed that, basically your deck is the deck to beat here because it's really, really well positioned. the graveyard hate isn't really there. And I think actually the only loss that you would have received would have been if Philip advances as the second player and you have to play against him with main deck Leyline of the Void and the combo finish. I think this would have been literally the only loss that you will receive or should receive in the tournament.
I guess against Philip's deck, as we said in the last interview, I didn't have a chance because he played Leyline main deck, so he mulliganed, I guess, in the first two matches on Leyline, and
and then I still have the duck depth skill, which is
exactly.
also really hard for Hogaak to beat in any kind of way. At least not when you have to face 4 Leylines, which have to eat the Assassin's Trophy.
And you have the Hex Mage, which can basically exile the bridges at instant speed. You have Danninger, you have no Force of Vigor actually in the sideboard to clear Leyline, so you have to mulligan for one of the 2 Assassin's Trophy to even get rid of them. And then it seems really hard to come back.
No, I guess it's a 0% matchup for me. In my opinion.
Like we said, but that doesn't matter actually because I didn't advance.
But I think you're good to go. You will, I think, take this home, and so you will win the first All Cup, I think, but don't talk about it now. So basically
that's it.
That's it, I think. So we have a short break, hopefully short break afterwards now.
Again, we set up everything for the next match, which will be Mario Hinterberger on Death in Texas against Jonas Bauernfeind, again on Rakdelva. So stay tuned for that.
And we will be right back. And we are back, and welcome to the next.
In response,
A legacy break cast where we talk about legacy in a break of an Austrian legacy stream.
So what's basically happening now is we are a little bit delayed, unfortunately. But we're working on it, and all players will be there soon, hopefully. What we're talking a little bit for you guys now.
Mhm.
The last match was really cool. I really liked the clean 3-0 sweep here from Manuel. I think Manuel will take this whole event down.
Yeah, it's very likely actually.
Yeah.
Delver, apparently, Philip, you called it right. The Hogaak deck seems to have really good chances against the Delver deck. And for me, it's a little bit questionable if the Def and Texas matchup is similar, but Hogaak,
It's even worse.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about this matchup, but
I gotta agree here.
you think it's worse
Yeah.
for Delver?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
for Hogaak?
have we watched the same
for-
quarterfinals?
Yeah, I think we have.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was pretty clear that Hogaak is just far beyond manageable for Def and Texas.
Okay, yeah.
And
The problem here actually lies in the current iterations of Def and Texas, because back then, before or back then in a time when Oko and Red Arcanist didn't have the huge meta share they've got now, Def and Texas used to run a little thing called Phyrexian Revoker, most in 2 or 3 offs, and where Hogaak really could stumble upon this. Phyrexian Revoker takes care of the mill plan, which is vital in this in the Def and Texas matchup to win. Because Def and Texas always has the little creatures that can block favorably, which in this particular situation means they die and they exile the bridge.
yeah,
and that's huge, actually. And Caracas takes care of the Hogaak, and Swords take care of anything else that you
of the Vengevine basically.
of the Vengevine. And then the new iterations they play the Skyclave Apparition, the Luminarch Aspirant, and all these new toys to combat our Simic overlords, basically.
Yeah.
And there's room for things like Phyrexian Revoker or a Miran Crusader that would swing this the Hogaak or the Graveyard matchups in the favor of Def and Texas.
Yeah.
And so Hogaak is very favored here also.
Yeah.
And for this, I think it doesn't matter if Jonas or Mario advances into the finals. Sure, it matters for them personally, and also for the prize payout. But it doesn't matter in this particular matchup, in the particular finals, that Hogaak will win this whole thing. Even though I think Manuel's list isn't tuned, it's not great. I don't like the Zeta Wayfinder. I don't like the lack of the forces in this iPad. I know why he didn't play this.
Yeah.
Or why he played the list like it is. But it's kind of amazing that he get into the finals with such a suboptimal list.
Yeah, but if the meta's right, any graveyard deck can strive for victory, and with that, I think it is the strength of the graveyard decks that they can operate on a different angle, and if they aren't respected, they just win the thing. And I think there is basically not really much that can do differently. And with that, I think, basically play graveyard decks. And if they are too much played, don't play graveyard decks. And after that, just play graveyard decks. It's just a cycle that continues
It's a dredge
over
cycle.
and over and over again.
So
It's a dredge cycle.
my question
dredge
is,
good when dredge is bad. Basically, that's what's happening.
and
Like Stifle also. Stifle is good
Yeah.
when Stifle is bad. When no one expects it, it's great, and then everybody plays around it, and it's just garbage tier.
so my question would then be, what do you play when the graveyard decks are, or when there's much graveyard hate and you have to switch deck?
You join the dark side. You
Yeah.
join
Maybe play
Oko
Rag Delver or
something
like that.
Delver.
Okay.
And then after 2 weeks, everybody forgets about it, and you crash with dredge again.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a,
So-
it's a circle of life.
Very good. Yeah.
And with this, I think we can go over to the matches.
Yeah.
Just one thing. We are recording our new podcast episode on Tuesday next week. We have our own podcast. It's at response_legacy. It's in response, a legacy podcast. You can find us on all big streaming sites like Spotify, Deezer, iTunes, Pocket Casts, basically everywhere.
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. It would be great if you tune in, and especially on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, you can leave a review, and would be great if you would be the first person to do this. Also, you can find the podcast on Twitter. It's at response_legacy. You can find the Austrian Legacy League on Twitter on Austrian_legacy. All the links are down in the description of this channel below. Leave a subscribe here, here on this Twitch channel, and also on YouTube. And now that was enough advertisement. I'm going into the Discord and tell our folks that they could start.
Very true.
Yeah, and with that we go to our last match before the finals, where we have, as mentioned before, a 2 weeks break now, or a 1 week break, because in 2 weeks, on the 12th of February, we will continue with our match to, the right to call yourself the all champion.
Yeah.
The All
Or-
Cup champion.
The All Cup
the All
champion.
Cup
Yeah.
champion.
Or the All Cup winner, basically. It's even better.
I think
However
you are
want to
the
call it.
champion
Wine
of
is strong
all.
today.
However you
I
want to
think
call
champion of all would be the
The voice of all.
voice of all. Yeah.
Thank you, Gino. Shout out to you.
And basically shout out to Iggy Christoph Igisberg, which basically made the tutorial for us to basically make this overlay for you guys. And we think it's a little bit more attractive because there are now 3 beautiful, handsome faces on the battlefield, and some basically legacy going over on this side, or on the other side.
On the other
I
side,
mirrored
yeah.
a little bit. But yeah, I cannot wait to cast some.
And I think the
games
matches are about to
here.
begin. We have Rag Delver on the left side, played by Jonas Bauernfeind, and Devon Texas, played by Mario Hinterberger on the right side. Do we
And
know
like
who?
we always do, we've got our cardboard life extension. They're basically on the right and on the left side of the screen, so there and there.
Yeah.
And you can hover above them and click them, and then you have the deck
Yeah.
list of our participants.
Yeah, and with that, let's talk a little bit about this matchup. What are the key cards for you in this matchup that basically Jonas has to deal with, and what are the key cards that Mario has to deal with? I think we have to start here with Mario because Mother of Runes, Luminac Aspirant, and basically Fadia are really key cards here to answer for Jonas
Yeah.
on the first turn, because the Luminac Aspirant is just a pain in the butt. he can outgrow every threat out of bolt range, which is basically really, really hard to interact now, or would be really, really hard to interact for Jonas. And yeah, basically the Skyclave apparition, which is the single answer for Oko. But
and
here we have
we have forced Ether Vial with Force of Negation and pitching Daze.
Very
and
good.
A strong turn to Thalia that
Very
gets
good,
also
yeah.
dazed, I think.
It has to be, if there's a daze in hand, it has to be dazed.
yeah. I mean, the Farley here would shut down really, really much. Is
It
it
casts
it's
a
Brainstorm.
it casts a
It's
brainstorm, yeah.
Brainstorm. So he searches for the counter here.
Yeah.
Or the second land to bolt it. It's also a possibility.
Yeah, you need
Um,
it for exactly the next turn, because then the Caracas would be active to interact with a remove spell.
It seems the Italia is resolving.
Yeah.
There is a
We see here
bolt. No, it's a
Tarmogoyf,
Tarmogoyf. Okay. Mm-hmm.
which is basically here a 2/3. Yeah.
It's a 2/3, yeah.
And here we have the judge putting dices on the Tarmogoyf. Ah,
Oh my god, it's a scandal.
I mean, I think you're allowed to do that, but it's
I mean, what would be your play here? Wasteland, and then basically
you're
forcing
porting.
the upkeep.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, Stormforge, that's also,
Stoneforge.
yeah. It's also
That's a big one.
very good.
Stoneforge on Better Skull. I really like the playstyle of Death in Texas. That was my first deck. I dipped my toes into Legacy, and I played it for a long time. I think about 5 years. I still have it partially altered, and I like it when it does.
Death
I
in
like,
Texas things.
I like when it does Death in Texas things, like we see now. Just
The-
great, but porting would be also a pretty good decision here.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't really that much that can go wrong, I would say, because, yeah, I mean, a Dreaded Arcanist is
That
something
can go wrong. Oh my
that
god.
can go wrong, yeah, for sure. But yeah, at least you have the Thalia attacks on the backup spells, and yeah, you need to have something here.
Oh yeah, and with the port, he can take care of the text.
And I mean, he needs basically Bolt in hand for one of the
Yeah.
next 2 turns, and the fetch land.
Absolutely, yeah.
For the chat, Ragdelva hasn't lost now. That Arcanist can snowball very easily, and it just takes 1 or 2.
I think
Maybe a bolt, maybe a
Yeah, I
nice
think-
cantrip.
I think a bolt is what Jonas can bring him back into the game if he manages to deal with the Thalia when the Caracas is tapped at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you need a white source here on the side of Mario, I would say.
But the Better Skull coming down at this point really makes it tough. Okay, a sword even,
A sword on the Dreaded Arcanist.
for sure, yeah. In that case, I think Death in Texas is far in the lead.
Oh yeah.
Here you should attack with the Stoneforge Mystic too, because it's just 1 chip damage that you don't gain,
Mm.
because you for sure don't block on next turn, which
yeah.
is basically
It's funny how conservatively playing sometimes leads to losses.
Yeah.
So in this case, the Dreaded Arcanist can snowball very easily, and maybe the 1 chip damage would have been determining.
okay. Here I disagree. I would have tapped the snow-covered plains, but yeah, you don't get everything.
Yeah, yeah. But it's pretty free.
Yeah, but I mean, you are protected against Wasteland.
Yeah, somewhat.
But yeah, basically for Mario, it's really, really hard to play right now because he's working full time. He's studying in the evening, and he's basically had a really, really tough week at university and at work, and now has to play in the evening at 10, 10 o'clock in the evening, some paper magic matches. And yeah, so we can expect some slight misplays on the side of
Yeah, it's 10 p.m. now, almost. So that's kind of hard to play a really good competitive Magic here. I think not even the top 8 of Grand Prix are getting that late often, very
Yeah, I
often.
don't think so.
Not
either.
really.
Okay. Okay, the screen froze a little bit, or the camera froze from Mario for short term. But yeah, we have basically here now the Better Skull in play, and with that, I think the
Retro Darkness is now gone. What I wanted to say is I really like Jonas' live tracker. It's cool that it has the names. It has the names on, so it makes it easier for our viewers to see what's going on.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
And with that, we have now sorcery, instant, creature, land, and there is a 4/5 onto the battlefield, which outclasses the Better Skull.
It's easy. Just play 2 lands and equip it on the Stoneforge.
And then
It
we
is-
have a 5/6. Yeah.
This might happen in a few turns, so
Yeah. Or just equip a Swords of Fire and Ice to it, or something like that, and it's basically the same situation.
What would be great here would be Skyclave Apparition.
Or
It's a Sanctum Prelate. I
question-
wanted to call it. I wanted to call it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so unimpressed by Sanctum Prelate because I thought the whole time that he turned off spells with the converted mana cost of it.
yeah, this would be way too good, actually.
Oko hurts here.
Yeah.
Bye, Better Skull.
Yeah, and with that, we have now this decision that maybe it would have been correct to say Sanctum Prelate on 3, because the only outs are basically bolts or cantrips, but you want to turn off the cantrips, but cantrips doesn't do that much actually. The problematic card is always the Oko.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you have to just accept Bolt here and Bolt Chain Lightning, but play around Oko, because Oko is the thing that hurts the most.
And you can also cheat out your Sword of Fire and Ice
Yeah.
through the Sanctum Prelate with the Stoneforge Mystic, so you can safely name 3.
Yeah.
And here with him not playing anything this turn, it doesn't seem that great either. So
And he didn't have mana up to bounce the Better Skull, am I right?
yeah, he played
Okay,
last
so-
turn the Sanctum Prelate and only had 1 mana available. But yeah,
So we see the raw power of Oko here. That
Well,
completely turns the
How?
game. Here.
I'm sorry. How
Yeah.
does the
basically,
He-
I'm just tuning in. I will correct the boys.
how I think you shouldn't be able to cast a bolt, right?
Yeah, the bolt won't work here. Yeah.
Because it's not a trigger or anything like that. It prevents him from being cast.
He has to elk it.
Oh, he exited. Okay. Hmm.
Okay. Then it works.
Yeah. We didn't see that.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
yeah.
basically elked it and then bolted it. Was
Then
just
it
a
works.
shortcut. Yeah, it was a little bit short-lived.
Yeah, but it's good that we can chime in so easily
Yeah.
and talk about rule corrections.
Yeah, for sure. It makes it a lot easier. But yeah. Let's see what he does here. Is this the sort of find ice? Oh no, he just ported it.
A sword would have been good. What also would be great for Mario here would be Skyclave apparition.
Hmm?
Yeah, you need something to deal with the Oko. I think you can't play anything.
Not really.
Recruiter.
I mean, a recruiter does at least something.
Yeah, it searches a Skyclave apparition.
Yeah, the question is, how many cards are in the hand of Jonas?
Oof.
Because the other play that you may are able to do is search up a another Stoneforge, and do something on the next turn, which would make a board presence. That would maybe generate something. But yeah, searching up the Skyclave is definitely the safe bet here.
I would have also searched up the Skyclave. The other solution or the other way or the option that you mentioned is, in my opinion, too slow to recuperate here the lost card advantage and the lost tempo
Yeah,
for Mario.
yeah, definitely. It would be a really aggressive play that may or may not have worked. But yeah, Oko just gains too much life. Even if Oko just does the food token gain life thing for each turn, it's basically +3 life each turn. Or if you count in the loyalty of the Oko, it's +5, which is basically insane to
Yeah.
compensate on.
And now Oko can always do the beautiful switcheroo. I always forget about this ability from Oko, and it can be so immensely devastating.
Yeah. I mean, if he switches next turn a food token for the Skyclave or for something else, it's just amazing. I mean, if he would have had something small here, would have been nice.
Why did he show us that vault here? I'm not sure.
Also not sure now.
Why should it be at 5? Because of the artifact here. We have instant, sorcery, artifact, land, creature in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will see a switcheroo. If it doesn't get
I mean, it will get
Skyclaved.
Skyclaved. But yeah, then let's look at what next turn is coming.
I can tell you what next turn is coming. Mario will play a Skyclave the Oko. And then Jonas will play another Oko, elk the food, and go to town. That will happen.
Yeah.
That will certainly happen.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too. I mean, yeah. But some nice recognition from Chino in the chat. He maybe just wanted to show off his pimped bolts, which is definitely something that Jonas would do.
Like all the time, actually. It's what he usually does.
Ooh, Illuminac Aspirant is really great here.
Do you know why the Stoneforge is tapped?
I think he attacked with it, probably.
Yeah, he attacked.
I mean,
I'm not sure. I
this
understand
is
that, sure.
this is worst case now. Because this means now a 3/3 token on the side of Jonas, because he removed the Skyclave, and this will block the recruiter to death, and this should mean game over now.
He has still the Illuminac. The Oko is gone. That's great. So Mario has this going for him.
Yeah, I mean, he still needs a couple more turns to outgrow the Tamogorf of Jonas.
Yeah, and the Oko is
I called
a
it. Oh
problem
my
too.
god, I called it. That's the play I've foreshadowed. He will elk the play another Oko. He will elk the food, and then it's just this game over here. Oko is just too good.
Yeah, I mean, Oko is just one hell of a beast. And
Mario scoops it up, so it's 1-0 for Jonas here.
yes, so we can.
I gotta admit, hopefully we will do this whole tournament thing again, and hopefully we won't see any Okos anymore. But
Yeah.
it's just my personal opinion, so take anything I say with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean, Oko is just a really, really hard card to interact, and it basically attacks on a really, really hard angle in these stacks.
Yeah.
Just because it's really, really hard for each deck to have enough removal spells to combat Dreaded Arcanist, and then you need specific removal spells for the Oko. And I mean, you can play basically, or every deck can basically play 4 Pyroblasts, and yeah, basically it's fine. But do we want this is the question, and do we want to allow that each deck has to play red? And I think this is the question that we have to ask ourselves. And I don't think that we want each deck to play red to answer an Oko, basically.
And even if each deck would play red for Pyroblast, you would still be a cut behind.
Yeah, and Pyroblast doesn't solve the Dreaded Arcanist problem. That's the next thing.
That's the next one. But in my opinion, I think we should take a look at the format if just Oko would be gone, and then re-evaluate Dreaded Arcanist maybe 1 or 2 weeks or even a month later, and maybe then take action. If it's just too good, then for sure I won't shed a tear if Dreaded Arcanist would also be gone. But I just hope for an Oko ban in the soon future. But that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, it's just a hard card to interact with. And yeah, basically here we have the good start on the side of Mario and another good start on the side of Jonas. So this will be really, really interesting. Because now with basically an active Mother of Runes, double basic planes on the side of Mario is really, really huge. The Spirit of the Labyrinth to shut down every cantrip. And yeah, this looks like a good game for Jonas.
And the
For
Delver,
Mario, yeah.
the Delver didn't flip, yeah.
Oh my god, it's a manual Delver.
Yeah, it's. Do we see here a Dreaded Arcanist?
If we
Or
see
a
Dreaded
Tarmogoyf.
Arcanist
A
here,
Tarmogoyf.
if we see Dreaded Arcanist here, I'm 100% sure that it eats swords to plowshares.
I mean, the Dreaded Arcanist does nothing here. It only does something with bolts.
Also, the Goyf is not that great at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, something that's usually with Goyf is that Goyf has often the I'm immune to bolt clause. But the problem is that bolt is not the removal spell of choice on the side of Mario, because it would have, or it is basically swords to plowshares. And yeah, here we have the holy trinity of shutting down any Delver deck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that hurts.
Was this a brainstorm?
Yeah, either that or I think it was a brainstorm, yeah.
I mean, it literally does not matter which card it was, because every cantrip is basically shut down.
The only thing that matters would be a bolt on
Arcanist.
a double bolt or something.
Yeah, you need multiple bolts. You need actually 2 bolts to even do. I mean, you need 1 bolt to do something, because you can get rid of the other piece now.
Which other piece? I mean, there's a mother, an active mother.
Yeah, but you bolt the spirit. The mother saves the spirit.
You mean with the Arcanist?
I'm not necessarily agreeing here with removing the Dreadhorde. I mean, the Dreadhorde gives the possibility of multiple bolts doing something.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and no trading allowed here. Would have. I mean, if the mother gives protection from green this turn, there would have been the possibility to bolt the mother this turn.
Yeah, but losing a Tarmogoyf for this, I'm not sure if it's worth it.
you mean at the point that Mario attacked you with the spirit?
Yeah, throw in the Tarmogoyf if you have a bolt to remove the mother.
Yeah, it wouldn't be able to cast it because of the Thalia.
Yeah, but
yeah,
in
that's
his
also-
turn then, in his turn.
In his
Because-
turn, he could do it, yeah.
Yeah.
And with this, I gotta do what I have to do. A shout out for new followers, MTG_new, Mason Waterhouse, and Rebel Ball for this stream. Thank you very much for following. And
Thanks
it's great
you.
to have you on.
Thank you. It helps us out a lot. It gives us publicity. You get the ability to watch some Paper Legacy being played on stream. And yeah, we just hope that you have a good time here and that we will see you on our next stream and for this whole session actually, which is the most important thing I would say.
Oh yeah. And the finals are on the 12th of February. So in 2 weeks from here, also on 20 o'clock CET. Would be great to have you on next time also.
Yeah,
And here we've got a Chite from Mario.
yeah. This will be kinda interesting now.
Yeah, because the Hooting Mandrills has shrunken the Goyf considerably.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you just
that's true.
equip the spirit here, I think, and attack with the spirit, and if it deals any damage, or if he just blocks with either the Goyf or the Mandrills, it's just a big problem.
You can kill the Delver with the -1,
With the
-1
cheater
counters. Yeah.
You can kill the Mandrills if he has to block with it, and if he blocks with the Goyf, you just give pro green and kill the Delver too. So it's a really big swing for Mario.
The next turn
I
is
can
certainly a
also
problem.
see. I think you talked about this now. Equipment the Thalia. Am I sure? Am I right?
Due to the first strike ability.
Yeah, because of the first strike. Yeah.
I mean,
In
so-
that
so
case,
if
it is good because you don't have to give the Thalia protection from green.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the idea.
yeah,
And
but
just take the two.
and then bounce with the Caracas. Wow, this is so huge. Magic is easy. And then before damage happening, bounce or just put the two -1/-1 on the Hooting Mandrills. Yeah, this is the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
play.
You don't have to bounce it because you can do it before the
Next
actual
turn,
damage.
okay.
No,
That's a power
no,
first
no.
strike.
First strike damage trigger, and after the trigger resolves and before regular combat damage, you kill the mandrills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Philip,
what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Should we tell him that damage is not a trigger anymore?
Yeah, but it works like that.
Yeah,
It works.
it's the damage
It's
step.
a
Yeah,
phase. It's a phase.
It's a
The
phase.
first-
Oh, mom, it's just a phase.
The trigger that I was referring to was the jitter trigger.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And after the trigger assets, then you can remove the counters.
Yeah, and here you're basically. Let's see what it does.
A brainstorm. Okay, I think that's kind of fair. Where he can just
Draws
draw
one, puts down
card.
two.
Oh
Ah.
my god, Spirit is so good. Oh god. This brainstorm hurts even
This is a
more.
good magic card. Pay 2, draw 1, put 2 cards down.
Seems fair.
I mean, if the hand is basically dead, it's the correct play. And I've done things like that in the past too. I mean, it's
speaking of yeah, Peter, go ahead. I just want to ask our chat a question.
yeah. Just ask the question, then I tell my short story from the past, and yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to ask the chat. Would you think that another cantrip that's like Brainstorm but with draw two cards, yeah, not three, and put one back, would it be too good?
At instant speed. And
At instant speed, yes.
for one blue
For
mana.
one blue, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting question.
Yeah, but
I always thought about this kind of tuned down Brainstorm for modern, probably.
yeah, I mean, it's a little bit less powerful, but yeah, I think
I
it's
wanted to ask the chat the question. Maybe someone has opinion on
A
cards
reduced
that
brainstorm.
they get. I think it would be a neat idea. And with this, I think you can go ahead and tell us your story.
yeah, basically it was in the old times when I started off with Legacy, which was basically I think 2017. Yeah, and then I was in the unfortunate position against Check Pile with my blue-red Stifle Knot pile to combat my opponent. I had a Blood Moon out, which was back in the days actually good against 4-color decks. And he had a Leovold out, and I had to use my Ponder just to sort my draws because I hadn't 3 turns left, and yeah, which was my possibility to win the game. But here we have a lock up, and Jonas concedes the game to Mario.
And a nice 1-1. And now we're going to the sideboarded games.
Yeah, and what are for you, Daniel, the cards to look out in the sideboard of Jonas actually here?
Just a quick second. I need to get the deck up and ready. For Jonas, I think, of course, he will look at the Blazing Volley in the sideboard. The Abrades, also the Sylvan Library looks fantastic, and I also like the Clothes as well, actually, as a grindy and hard to remove card.
Yep.
I think he can safely cut the Spell Pierce, and the Spell Snare is fine. The Spell Pierce is certainly not a great card. The Force of Negation is also not a great card. And I would also trim 1 or 2 extra Force of Wills for this matchup. This is what I would do if I would be Jonas.
Yeah, for this particular game,
Force of Will, yeah.
yeah, I would
Yep.
trim down to 2 Force of Will, trim the Force of Negations, and the
Spell
Spell
Pierce.
Pierce for sure,
Yeah.
and maybe even a Spell Snare. I would put in 1 Blazing Volley, 2 Abrades, 1 Sylvan Library, and 1 Clothes, and with that, the Spell Snare can stay in the deck. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Snare is fine.
Yeah.
There are a lot of 2-drop creatures that you can hit, and if you hit a Thalia or a Stoneforge, it's certainly fine.
Yeah, I mean, you can hit a Luminac Aspirant, a Spirit of the Labyrinth. You can hit a Cheater or something like that.
Also
So
true.
There are a lot of cards that you can hit. And what are the cards from the sideboard that are valuable on the side of Mario?
So we've got in the sideboard 1 Grafdigger's Cage, 2 Path to Exile, 2 Surgical Extraction, 1 Containment Priest, 1 Ether Swan Canonist, 1 Leonin Relic Water, 2 Rest in Peace, 1 Constant Judgment, 1 Sanctum Predate, 2 Cataclysm, and 1 Walking Ballista. In my opinion, I would board in the 2 Path to Exile because removal is key here. I'm not sure about the Surgical because it's Jonas has had some interesting ideas about it, but I wouldn't bring in it in myself. I would also bring in the council's judgment, and also I think the 2 rest in peace would be great.
Yeah, the 2 rips are an auto include for me. I would board in for sure the 2 path to exiles as additional removal. Yeah, the two rips are good, and I think the rest would stay out. With that, you want to board on more removal. And what are the cards that you want to board out here? I think the Sanctum Prelate. The Sanctum Prelate is fine as a 1 of 2 to target, but what are the key cards that you can put out, which is the question, because Aether Vial is crucial. Cheetah, Sophie, and Batterskull are all great here. You want the 4 Swords to Plowshares, so it's really, really hard. What are you allowed to trim? And
Probably
is it
Sticker
this?
Wisps.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I think I actually would trim the aspirants
the
because
aspirants are the best cards in my opinion here.
I disagree.
I also agree here.
I disagree, kind of. Why? I think aspirants are mainly here to fight against plague engineers.
No, they fight versus Oko,
They are really, really great against Oko because you have now
and
4
all the
fours.
removal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the thing is, you play an aspirant, you go to combat, you put a counter on it, and if he elks it, it's a 4/4, and it just outclasses every elk he can make.
Yeah. We have seen something in the, I think it was in group stage.
Yeah.
No, not in the group stage, in the quarterfinals, when Mario played against. No, he hadn't played against Stefan. Where did he play it? It wasn't Mario. It was Höller Michael, I think, and he played against Manuel Hogaak in the group stage, and there he had an Luminac Esprint, which was basically impossible to deal with after 2 turns. And the sole reason why Manuel lost this game was because he had one time the decision if he wants to bolt the Esprint or another creature. I think it was something like Thalia, and he opted into bolting the Thalia, and then he wasn't able to recover the whole game because he couldn't deal with the Esprint.
Yeah, Aspirant is definitely such a great card, and in this whole Oko world we live in now, it's a beating. It's such a beating to have it online.
Yeah.
It just has to be alive for 1 or 2 turns, and it outclasses everything you can play in Ragdelva, even if you elk it.
Yeah, it's really, really hard to deal with. But yeah, here we see a lot of draw go, port go on the side of Mario and Jonas. There is a 1-2 or soon to be 2-3 on the side of Jonas, but the clock isn't that pressing.
Path on the Tamogorf. I'm not sure if you would do that preemptively like that.
No, it's probably not good enough. I would save the path for the Dreadhorde Arcanist, even with the spirit.
I think I would have played the path at least Days Proof.
Death Dex is very mana hungry, and you at some point have to use your mana efficiently, and you're losing 1 mana if you don't play the path, and you're kind of losing your mana the next turn.
Yeah.
But he has an Aether Vial, which is active on the board, which also helps him mana-wise.
Yeah. And with it staying on 2, we should expect either a Thalia or a Stoneforge Mystic on this turn now. And yeah, let's see what he does. I hope actually for a Thalia.
No, it's just go and port, probably.
Okay.
And that's the bolt.
Okay, yeah.
Which is this? Okay, Stoneforge in response.
That's okay.
I think I would have let it die and then have the May ability up to basically put in another spirit into another cantrip, but I think Jonas has to play into it. But with one bolt down here, it's really
Unlikely
hard.
that he has another here.
But is this another Goif? Yeah. Goif should be a 2-3. 3-4.
A 3/4, yeah.
Ponder, bolt, and land.
And path.
And creature. So it should be a 4-5 actually.
Phew. A huge Goif. A
5,
5/6.
The spirit is an enchantment, right?
Yeah. the
Yeah,
spirit
it's
is
an enchantment creature. Yeah, that's big. That's humongous.
Awesome.
So, yeah. Let's see what will be done here. I mean, here we have the Thalia, and maybe we can get an Thalia up. How's it called? Better Skull? Or a Thalia with a Better Skull on it, which would be huge enough to deal with the Tarmogoyf. Okay.
Yeah, you can't simply go wide here. You have to go tall. What would be great here would be a Luminac Aspirant.
Yeah.
You really love this card, do you?
Yeah, it's
I
too
haven't
good.
played it actually, but on paper, the it's just so good against any Oko deck.
Yeah, it's really fine, and it helps you a lot with outclassing some creatures.
Okay, put it on 3.
Okay.
Maybe as a Skyclave or Flicker Wisp.
Hmm.
Yeah, even a Flicker Wisp here would be huge.
Oh, Flicker Wisp would be so great here. Oh my god.
And rest in pepperonis.
That hurts so much.
No
Oh
force
my
of will to
God,
deal
that hurts
with.
so much. 0/1 Tarmogoyf standing between a Thalia and a Battle Skull.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so
he-
nice.
So
nice.
he basically has a small beta, but yeah.
It's not a beater, it's a 0/1.
It is a small
First
blocker.
Global hierarch.
These
It
are
is-
good words.
It is basically a plant token.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Kalnigarden, make Kalnigarden
Yeah.
great again in Legacy.
I mean, do you know why Kalnigarden isn't played anymore in Legacy? I mean,
I
it
think there was a Hogaak deck where it was played.
in a Hogaak deck with Maret Large.
Yeah.
It was
Hogaak Depths. Hogaak Depths.
Hogaak
was it?
Depths, yeah.
Yeah.
Why is this deck gone?
Not sure.
It's basically either Hogaak or a Maret Large Dark Depths deck, but the bad version of each of these decks.
Probably, yeah.
And yeah, here we have it. 2-0 or 2-1 advantage now to Mario Hinterberger. Jonas Bauernfeind now on the draw. He looks to have some
On the play, you mean?
with on the play, yeah.
On the
Sorry,
play, yeah.
sorry. But yeah, I'm just thinking and looking a little bit ahead. We have at least, if it comes to to the finals between Tefan Texas and Hogaak, we have at least 5 graveyard interaction pieces on the side of Mario, of Michael.
Mario, you.
Mario.
It is
Oh,
Mario.
The wrong name is on Cardboard Life.
Yeah. This is not the first time that you mistake Mario with Michael. Peter, I have to admit.
Mario, Michael, it's all the same.
But we had this a couple of times in your coverage stream, I think, when you recasted our FNMs.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to deal with names. It's basically impossible for me.
Yeah.
I'm actually happy that you know some cards by their name.
I know them by picture.
Is this a leg storm or an ass storm? I'm not sure now.
I just remember the pictures. That's all I need.
Yeah. I need to know the picture and what it does. Nothing more to know about.
Yeah.
That's enough. And because I just wanted to give a shout out to FlowJoe82 and Andrew CRRNSA for following our stream. Thank you very much. It's nice to have you on.
Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you. Helps us out a lot. And I hope we help you out a lot if you gain something from watching some Paper Legacy being played. Here we have the turn 1 Forked Bolt. Or the turn 2 Forked Bolt to answer the turn 1 Mother of Runes and the Delver here, which is basically great. Ephalia on the other hand for Mario. And yeah.
It looks like Jonas has had the same idea with his sideboarding. I haven't had seen a Force of Will in the last match and in this match now.
Yeah, I think you aren't allowed to board down to 0 Force of Wills. But yeah, you should for sure trim it.
Yeah.
I think you aren't allowed nowadays to board down to 0 forces in any matchup basically. Because it's just too crucial to keep your early game advantage.
And what you have to do here is to sword or path the Treasure Arcanist, or it runs away with the game.
Yeah, the Forked Bolt in the graveyard is really, really great. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that changes the whole equation.
But he has
And
Force.
the Force
Yeah,
does it
okay.
again.
Now he has it. He didn't have it in the last game.
Yeah. And this is huge now because he gets to get flash. He gets the Forked Bolt flashback now.
Yeah.
And everything is fine.
Oh my god, it hurts to watch.
Yeah, just attack with.
That's a beating.
Flashback the.
Brainstorm?
Wait, what?
Okay, I think he is a little bit greedy here and wants to take full advantage of the Blazing Volley.
You mean the Forked Bolt?
The Forked Bolt, yeah.
I can see that.
Take this turn because of the Caracas, I think.
Yeah, this is also true. Potentially, maybe he has a bolt in hand. But okay, no, now it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I mean, if the Delver flips next turn, it for sure makes sense because it's now a 2-turn window where he needs some remove spells, and each removal spell means no rest in peace.
Maybe he just doesn't care about the Thalia.
Yeah, he's just ignoring it. Force pitch force here.
The next force. Oh my god. It looks like Jonas is here pretty much ahead. The Dreaded Arcanist is really pulling some strings.
Yeah. And a bolt top deck would mean a win here, I think.
And yeah, for our chat, it's nice to have you on, Marius Hausmann. Really nice to see you. We have our next stream on Friday the 12th of February with the Austrian Legacy League Cup Finals. So it would be nice to have you on there.
And yeah, here we see the removal of the Thalia. Yeah, he does remove it.
And he swings for 7. Oh my god, that hurts.
Yeah. Which is basically blocker for the Dreaded Arcanist and remove spell for one Delver, and the other turn another remove spell for the other Delver. Which is most of the time I would say an impossible task.
Oh yeah, 2 Delvers and a Dreaded Arcanist on 4 life. I'm not sure how Mario will turn the tides here. Yeah, the matches are best of 5.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Best of 7 would be a little bit too hard to operate on for us as commentators. for the players, and I'm not sure if I ever have seen a best of 7 match in Magic. Actually, I'm not sure. Have you guys? I think it was only best of 3s and best of 5s in the Pro Tours.
I can certainly say that I've watched best of fives from I think the Slovakian guy. I'm not sure what his name is, and a Pro Tour.
Okay.
But I've never seen a best of 7 like I could think of. No.
I think
We are playing the elimination rounds all in best of 5s.
Okay. And we have a small break here.
What is? I can't read it. What is the first?
It's a toilet break.
A toilet.
Toilet. With that, we should mean that he will be a doctor in the future.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, unfortunately, he will be how's it called? The guys in the suits that fight the law.
A lawyer?
A lawyer.
A lawyer. The German word was stuck in my head. But
the guys in the suits that fights the law.
I think it is
that
just.
has really a heroic touch
Yeah.
to it.
It is legit to just call them that way. I think.
you have to imagine them with, instead of a sword, with how's it called? Pergament roll or something like that. Old
A pergament roll. you burst out the how's it called? This is very paradox now. The special
It looks
verse.
like Jonas is back again now.
Yeah, I think so. Philip, unfortunately, your camera fell out.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Does not
goodness.
work anymore.
We only see your cat. We only see your cat at this point.
I mean, it's more beautiful than your.
Just keep it like that. I think that's fine.
I don't get it. Why it hasn't charged?
No, you don't need to be charged, Philip.
But I mean, I like how the tail whips left and right, so it's kind of fine, I would say.
Yeah.
I'm on my way again.
Nah, let it be the same. It's okay. It's okay.
I know you like pussy.
He fought the law, but the law won. Yeah. I had to concede to the law. No law fighting at all. So he watched Age of Empires 2. Unfortunately, I'm not, or until now, I'm not into that. But yeah, each strategy game is really, really interesting to watch. And I think especially esports commentary and something that I enjoy way too much, speedrun commentary is just amazing to watch on the internet.
Amazing or?
It's amazing.
Amazing.
Really,
Speedrun commentary? Okay, yeah. I mean, it depends on the game. For me personally, if I would enjoy it.
I mean, something that I can say is watch some of the speedrun history commentaries.
Mhm.
There are some really, really interesting ones that basically tell you how the speedrun works. Something that I can for sure say that's impressive is some of the Super Mario Bros.
Mhm.
The first one,
Mhm.
because the speedrun is so optimized. It's basically, I think there are only I think a third of a second that you can make it faster nowadays.
Okay.
That should be humanly possible, but this the tricks require multiple frame perfect tricks to operate on,
Yeah. If
and
it,
sub pixel precision, so it's immensely hard to play it. And yeah, here we have a Luminac Aspirant and a Eva on the side of Mario Hinterberger,
Sure.
and this is something that he really, really, really wants.
yeah. If it stays on the battlefield, I
mean,
was gonna say, but it will target the wild. Yeah, with their braid.
that means he should have a bolt for the next turn.
Yeah, otherwise the aspirant will be a 4/4.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not devastating. I mean, yeah. I think it's definitely not game over or anything like that.
But yeah, it will be really, really hard. Because this is the point where he can start pumping other creatures
Mm-hmm.
and so on. And yeah. Unfortunately, has to play into the
yeah,
base
guys.
here.
It looks like I can't get my camera running.
Yeah. I mean, I've shaved for today, so it
You-
should work out.
You Peter, you make up for this loss, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He has the timely bolt. This is really good for Jonas.
Yeah.
And the mandrills. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, how many cards are left in hand? 4 for Jonas. But here, Path to Exile or something like that would save the spot here too. Yeah. as I called it.
You called it. Oh my god.
Because this play doesn't play now into Force of Negation. And, I mean, you have to play around it, even though
Well-
it shouldn't be in the
Yeah.
deck.
It shouldn't be. I don't think you should play. You must play around it after sideboarding. It would be really weird.
But, I mean, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything here.
I mean, the idea to play it on the upkeep of your opponent is then if, like we see here, if Jonas is brainstorming, he's using the mana for his own turn, rather than getting to untap with his full mana up.
Yeah. Ige, he paths in the upkeep because of Force of Negation. So
No,
he can play around it.
I don't think so. It's because he wants to make Jonas use his mana on his own turn.
Yeah,
It's-
that's something too, yeah.
Yeah, I think this after sideboarding, that's the correct reasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
but like we see, Jonas did use a brainstorm in response, so he has one less mana for his own turn.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you could also play around your opponent actually finding something with brainstorm, like a force. I think that's what Iki wants to tell us here, and I can definitely see this. This is also a good option to play it in your own turn.
Yeah. Yeah, he got the free shuffle for the brainstorm. That's correct. But I don't think that this matters very, very much. And yeah, it would be kind of interesting how deck masterminds agree with this decision.
Which decision? With the path?
With the path here, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It would be really, really interesting how someone like Phil Gallagher would basically think about this situation. Or even Aaron Relentless, which is Jörg Heinrich. And yeah, here we have the Oko. And
Wow.
this means Jonas will be in the finals.
You call it pretty early, but I think this is... Yeah...
Calling this early with... I don't think this is too early to call. I mean, he needs a land, no days, no Force of Will on the side of Jonas, and a Skycliff Apparition for this turn to have a chance to come back.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
probably too much, yeah.
And he missed, I think, the land drop for last turn, and yeah. So it will be interesting. He needs land Skycliff here.
Yeah.
I don't see him coming back. And no land is really, really hard now.
Mhm.
Because Oko will just elk the food token, play Dreaded Arcanist or something, or even play Brainstorm. Yeah, he is. Mario is mana screwed here, but yeah, it's a really hard situation for him, and that's the problem for basically Death in Texas and any non-Brainstorm Ponder deck. Sometimes you have to rely on the top of your deck, and if it doesn't work out for you, you're just dead. And here he gets in for 7, or he gets in for 3, down
So-
to 9 on the side of Mario.
And Philip joined us back right at the end of the match.
Oh yeah, let us see how long it works. I'm at 0 point anything charge.
Yeah.
Since you're using your phone as a webcam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's wrong today. I never had this problem.
That's what he said.
I swear, it's the first time.
I think that the key would be here to put in land, grindstone, painter, and lines a diamond, and hope that your opponent doesn't have a force of will. Am I right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
And that's game. So we've got our 2 finalists. It's Manuel Danninger on Hogaak versus Jonas Bauernfeind on Ragdelver, and our match for the 3rd place is Mario Hinterberger on Death in Texas versus Andreas Schaubmayer on Ragdelver. So what we've got is basically no one is playing an opponent they've already played, which is great.
Wasn't Danninger and Jonas in the same group with Daniel?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot this.
So
what we basically have now is that they already played each other.
They played each other. Yeah.
I've got that wrong.
Yeah. So Daniel, what do you think? Because you are now officially the 3rd best player in the tournament.
How and why?
Yeah, basically you are in a group with the 2 best players, so you must be the.
But I can't get behind this logic. but what was your question?
How does it feel? Because you are now
I'm feeling
the 3rd best
yeah, amazing. Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah, I mean, these are both really great players, and I mean the other 2, Mario Hinterberger and Andreas Schaubmayer, for sure are 2. But yeah, I mean Jonas Bauernfeind won the last basically Austrian Legacy League, and Manuel Danninger had already won a Legacy Showcase Challenge on Magic Online, which is a good achievement on its own. And both of them already were on their In Response, a Legacy podcast. Manuel Danninger, I think, on episode 4.
Episode 5.
It was 5, yeah.
5. And then Jonas should be on episode 7, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think there was one in between. With that, I think we will have a short break to set up our interview with the winner of this match, Jonas Bauernfeind, and then we will be right back. Stay here.
Stay tuned for the interview.
In about 5 minutes, we will be back.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Daniel, do you make the timer?
Of course.
Started.
Of course.
Perfect.
Of course.
Men øtten da får jeg svare i anspil.
Philip Fangster.
Siger. Morten, Dani. Okay.
Welcome,
Okay,
everybody.
we are already live.
We are live. Yeah.
Okay.
Just some trash talk in German.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we basically have to start off with congratulations for Jonas Bauernfeind on having another 3-2 victory
Nice.
in a best of 5 match. So yeah, how does it feel now, knowing what they're playing against up in the finals?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted a silver trophy, and that's nice because I don't think I'm going to win because I already played him in group, and even before that, I knew that the matchup wasn't good, and the matchup is still not really good, and yeah, that's basically the whole point of the discussion.
Yeah, it's just a really hard matchup to deal with for any basically fair blue deck. At least you are a fair blue deck with a clock. I mean, the only other fair blue deck that I would see with more of a chance would be something like Pokepile, because with Uru you have the ability to exile the bridges a little bit easier. But yeah, I think Delva is just a to-go choice to battle up against.
I mean, in my current list of Delva, I run 2 Urus instead of the Mandrills, and it feels really nice, and I think that would make the matchup better. But unfortunately, I can't change that deck list in the tournament.
Yeah. I think Uru would be a key card here, but yeah, we had locked deck lists since I think November or October, and
I think it was beginning of November that we have the lock deck lists.
Yeah, it could be. It's
I
a
think
long
6th
time
of
ago.
November.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what were the key parts for today for your success?
But today was drawing nuts in game 4 and and him stucking in game 5.
I love it.
Yeah,
it's so refreshing that it's
and I mean, so basically he played turn 1 Mother of Runes at game 4. I thought, fuck, I'm going to lose this game. I brainstormed. I found Forkbolt and a Force. I Forkbolt his Mother, then played an Arcanist, Forkbolt his Talia. Yeah. Forkbolt is really good against Stefan Texas.
Yeah, Forkbolt is a great card.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Also, I unlocked the secret behind Okos. Always have your backup Oko in hand. So that makes the a preparation matchup much more doable if they exile your Oko and you have an Oko and a 3/3 next turn because you also of course kill the creature.
So basically what you're saying is the secret to win with Oko is to have more Oko.
More Oko is always better.
Yeah, basically. Yep. In the games where I knew for early on because it didn't pressure my lamp that I could reliably get at Oko, I tried to just keep the board clean. Because it doesn't matter if I don't have pressure on board. If the board is empty and I hit an Oko, he has to react. And like if I try to set up such things as a way to clean the board, Oko and a counterspell. So I get Oko out, he plays something, I counter it, and I get a 3/3 with Oko. And at this point, he can't really do anything because even if he exiles my Oko with the Skyclave, the True-Tutor, I have a 3/3, which is the bigger creature, and he has to protect his 2/2 because if the 2/2 dies, I get another 3/3. And both your creature make a 3/3 is an extremely strong play.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is the best bold. I agree with. So before we had this match at the last interview after the quarterfinals, you said that you aren't afraid of Stefan Texas and you think it's a favorable matchup for.
No, I don't think it's favorable. I said it's favorable. I think it's very skill dependent and luck dependent, of course, because it's a card game, and it's pretty 50-50 with light tilt into different textures, I think, if you
Okay.
see the whole.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But
then I agree.
it's a really it's a matchup where skill can make a lot of difference.
Yeah, for sure.
And skill and technology, I think I said that in the last interview, Devin Texas player can mess up more than Rack players in this matchup, because Devin Texas Rack has the tempo advantage. The Rack has more pressure from the data forward. So like from the start of the game, Rack has the pressure. So if Rack messes up, it just loses tempo and has to come back from that. But if Devin Texas loses a turn to some misplay or some sequencing, then you have 6 damage in the air every turn and you lose the game.
Yeah, basically. So it's very, very, or at least more forgiving on the side of Rack Delva as for the side of Devin Texas. And the matchup is really, really intense.
It's really intense. And you can, from the Rack Delva, if you mess up, you have cantrips, and you can fix your mistakes with cantrips because you can adapt to situations better. If you mess up with a mono white deck, you just have to top deck the card.
That's true. That's simply true. You can't afford to make any kind of mistake with a deck like Devin Texas.
And with Rack Delver, you have a lot of safety nets in cantrips, in forces, in counter spells, and removal spells. So it doesn't matter what does go wrong, you have the answers in the deck. And you have the cantrips to find something. And
I mean, don't always have the answers in the deck. For example, game 2, so pre-sideboard, he got Jita because I was filling up the board and didn't have mana for my force to fill it in because the Talia was on the board. So Jita was on the board, and basically game 2 I can't beat Jita because I don't have my breaks in. And then I tried to use my tempo to knock him down and just sack my bigger creatures to the Talia, because that way there were no counters left on the Talia for him to get life back. So if I would top deck Bolt, I would win, but that's a very slim line of success.
It matches.
Sometimes you just have to play to your outs.
So you tell me there is a chance.
It doesn't matter if the chance is 0.5%, but if this is the only way that you can win this game, you have to play for it. It doesn't matter how bad it looks. If it doesn't work out, you have to play for the win.
Even the nicest play with the nicest look if it doesn't win you the game, and you're not winning the game by some other factor, it's probably wrong.
For sure. So so you face off Manuel Danninger in the finals. So you said already that you are in second place, and
I'm really not favored. And we played that already in the groups. So do we have to play, or can we just skip?
No, you have to play. You can't skip this.
But I'm really happy overall. My goal from the beginning was to get top 3, so to get a trophy, and I got a trophy. Or locked in now. So
congrats.
Congratulations.
That's nice.
Your opponent has to work for his trophy.
That would be my fear, to just the worst case would be losing and somehow Danninger loses to Andy. Manuel loses to Andy, because then I would have to play for the trophy against the now final matchup. Against Hogaak. And then I would be purple with 4th. Also, our prize pool is pretty top heavy, so getting second or getting 3rd is nice in that regard.
The difference is definitely there.
I mean, there should be something on the line between the 3rd and 4th player. And I mean,
so we basically have pretty big jumps in prize money between every place, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Because we are playing 16 people and only the top 4 is getting paid out. So there got to be huge jumps in the prize money.
So don't forget, thank you for your money, guys. You're all paid.
Very good.
I mean,
That's fair. That's fair.
at least we are getting paid like $150 an hour. We are on stream, so everything is fine.
Per person.
Per person, for sure. Yeah, as Igor suggests in the chat, you better pay a round of beers when we are at your restaurant. So
actually, we gave out free beer the last 2 weeks, but somehow
Really?
Iggy didn't show up. So yeah,
Iggy, what are you doing?
because I don't know if all viewers are from Austria. In Austria, the restaurants aren't allowed to open right now. So our beer kegs are in danger of running out of date. So,
Yeah.
near the best before date. And so we just said everyone who orders food from us can bring some container or some bottles, and we fill them up with beer.
Some containers. Do you know the 1 cubic meter water containers that some people have in their garden?
We also got some those for beer filling. Yeah. So we gave out like some 200 liters of beer in the last 2 weeks. So that's
Not too
bad.
I need to get to you for this.
Yeah, sadly, a local paper reported about it, and now our beer is empty.
Oh, so you should order some fresh beer that you can give it away for free.
Yeah. Oh, that looks great.
Yeah.
Because, basically Phyllis, expresses
always
about this because he hasn't gotten to you. Gino is angry now. I would take 1 or 2 beers myself with me. But only because I'm more of a wine drinking person.
So Peter, in December we had the special that everyone who ordered a Christmas goose, prepared goose menu, and for takeaway, because nothing out of only takeaway was possible, got a bottle of wine of his or her choice for free to it.
It's nice too.
Nice.
Yeah, so but now the stream just got to an advertising stream for the restaurant of my parents. So here's the logo.
Upside down. That's great. That's great.
But also Magic is fun. Pre-releases this week, so I'm going to play and judge some online pre-release. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's nice. And basically with that, I think
we can wrap it up for today.
Yeah,
I think.
Good night.
And so, if you like what we are doing, subscribe to our channel. It's down below. You can always follow us and subscribe. You can subscribe our YouTube channel. Also, the link is in the channel description down below. Would be great. We need 50 followers to have our own YouTube channel link. So that would be a milestone we want to achieve. And also you can find the link to our podcasts, to In Response, a legacy podcast. We are we are on a 3-week schedule. So we are oh my god, we're
recording
recording, next week on Tuesday, and the next episode will go live on Friday next week. So tune in, and would be great if you
also
have you on.
Did we already say when the finals will be played?
That's great that you mentioned it. The finals will be played on the 12th of February. It's in 2 weeks. Also on 20 p.m. CET, or
so
20
CET will be the third place match, and then the final.
Yeah, exactly.
The game to third place, and after this, the real final will take place. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We will have a special guest for you. It's Callum at White Faces Smith, who will join the ranks of the commentators for the finals. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It will be a great stream.
For sure.
Callum Smith, for anybody that doesn't know him, which he should be, is one of the co-hosts of the Everyday Eternal podcast on the side of Julian Knapp. He's one of the forerunners of the basically legacy community in London, England. And yeah, he's a great guy, a good streamer, a good podcast host, and yeah, definitely one of the faces of the community. Yeah, and with that,
we will decide now who to rate. I think it would be great.
I think we will rate Wack Wack MTG.
We have this already.
Again? Oh yeah,
for sure. Some old school content, and yeah, basically tune into them. We will rate it with the stream, and thanks for watching. We will see you in about 2 weeks, or literally exactly 2 weeks. So
just one thing.
1 week, 1 week, 6 days, and 21 hours, because not exactly 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, Jonas is right. So just one thing I want to say: if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @FinnecMTG. It's BHINEKMTG. You can follow Jonas on Twitter. It's
at Yoba_99. If you don't want any content, please follow me. I'm not really active on Twitter.
Then you can follow Daniel on Twitter.
The wrong side, Philip, but it's okay. It's Flying Delver.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's Flying Delver. Yeah.
And then you can follow Peter on Twitter. It's over there.
Yeah, and you can find me on @UnicornLord, but the O in the Lord is 0.
And you can find all our three guys at @response_legacy. So have a good night, and we will see you at the finals.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.